Oh, hey, how are you guys doing? Well, isn't this just a wonderful Christmas here? So, this Christmas, we're gonna reminisce about a little something. Because my life changed around this time. Because it was on Christmas Eve that me fucking mother gifted me with a disc of Fallout 3. And I think today, a lot of people, they boast about how dope New Vegas is. But remember, before New Vegas, all there was motherfucking Fallout 3. And I know that's probably gonna piss a lot of people off because Fallout 1 and 2 actually came out back in the 90s. But like I said, we're gonna be paying homage to Fallout 3 that revitalized the series and kind of breathed new light into it. And in particular, its Prologe mission, which I think is one of the best introductions into any game you could think of, really. Like I said, I know New Vegas is considered to be God Teir and just way better than anything Bethesda can produce. But I'm gonna be honest, as soon as you walk out of Doc Mitchell's house, all I wanted to do was just run down and see if I could get to New Vegas as fast as possible. So let's grab some mentats, a little jet, a little psycho, bust up a line of Fallout 3, and snort that shit. Like I said, Fallout New Vegas is a masterpiece, but the first time I fired up Fallout 3 and you see that prologue begin with that flickering radio, god damn that flickering radio, bro. So aesthetically pleasing. But in the end of it all, it ends with Ron Perlman's voice.
War. War never changes.
And his voice is rugged as shit. It sounds like a grizzly bear has been chain smoking cigarettes and binge drinking whiskey for like 40 years. It's beautiful, and it's absolutely perfect for the Fallout franchise. And Ron Perlman, he lets you know what's been going on in the Fallout universe for like the last 40 years prior to the bombs being dropped. And it's a lot of bad shit. We're talking famine. We're talking like world wars. We're talking high crime rates. Real bad shit.
In the early days, thousands were spared the horrors of the Holocaust by taking refuge in enormous underground shelters known as vaults. But when they emerged, they had only the hell of the wastes to greet them. All except those in Vault 101.
So, your player, he's one of the people born in Vault 101. In this game, it was made in 2008, so you bet your ass it's as offensive as shit. You only got 2 choices of genders, boy or girl, and it lists all the fucking races. It uses offensive language like African American, Hispanic, Caucasian, Asian. What the fuck is this shit, bruh? I don't even know what these races are anymore. Anyways, so you start by creating your character. Okay, yep, that's good enough. Perfect. Good to go. Your mom dies, then your overbearing father gives you some room to fucking breathe for once. He leaves the room for like 2 seconds, and this gives you enough time to get to the matter at hand. You're supposed to look into your special book, and you got strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. Wherever you allocate your points to will vary on what perks you'll be able to choose later on in the game. But this won't really even matter until you leave the vault anyway, because the first mission is more of an introductory on how the mechanics of the game work. Then your dad comes back, who's also Liam Neeson, by the way, which is pretty cool. You guys leave the room, and then some bad shit probably goes down because your guy just like represses the last 9 years of his life. Where he just flashes to his 9th birthday. And on your 9th birthday in Vault 101, you're gifted a sweet good old pit boy. And trust me, you'll be scrolling through this goddamn thing for hours, looking at stats, your miscellaneous, your notes, scrolling through all your weapons and armor, and it'll be having you saying things like, fuck, where are my stem packs? Not gonna lie, I've always found the Pit Boy to be an absolute mess, but I kind of love it at the same time. But you're not scrolling through it much in the beginning because you start with Dickel.
You got to start by talking to Amata, and she's going to give you that sweet Grognak the Barbarian comic. Snag a fucking party hat off the table, talk to Stanley, he'll give you a shitty baseball cap.
Hey, how about the Volt one?
If you talk to this old lady, she gives you a sweet roll. Then these 3 bullies, they don't have anything for you. They kind of just talk shit to you, except this kid who's kind of like that one kid who's not really a bad kid, but just hangs out with the bad kids, but he's still a bad kid because he hangs out with them. Except for Butch. Butch is a bitch, and he tries to take your fucking sweet roll from you. And this is the first time that the game ever gives you a true choice. You can spit on that sweet roll and give it to him, and he'll proceed to beat the shit out of you. Or you can just give it to him nicely, and then he'll call you a pussy. There's a couple different choices here, but they both result in him either beating the shit out of you, or just calling you a pussy. Then Officer Gomez, he runs up on you. He calls you a pussy too for not defending yourself. Then he says that Butch is a little degenerate, and same with his mom. Then your dad, Liam Neeson, runs up on you, says Jonas wants that ass in the basement for some reason.
I don't think anyone will mind if you slip out for a few minutes.
You're like, nice one, Dad. Then, while on the way to the basement, this bitch just rudely interrupts you, but it's not that bad because she actually writes you a really heartfelt poem. No, I'm just kidding. I've probably played this game like 1,000 times, and it is probably a nice poem, but I've literally never once read this poem. I'm just too interested on why Jonas wants me in the basement. Jonas, he's fucking really with it. He gives you a BB gun. Then your dad comes down. You're like, wow, Dad, thanks. This is always what I wanted. And then you go into the back. You start shooting some rad roaches. And if you play this game right, you fucking shoot your dad right in the back of the head, make him go unconscious, then take that photo. That's the only way to properly do this section. And if you don't do that, I can see why you don't like Fallout 3, because you're just not playing the game right. That'd be like the equivalent to not running straight to New Vegas and shooting Benny right in the balls, but instead you just follow New Vegas's extremely long quest line where they like lead you all the way out to Boulder and then around the map like fucking 20 times before you actually get to New Vegas. Then you can finally shoot Benny in the balls. Then your life flashes before your eyes because you're wondering how badly your dad's gonna beat you for this. And you wake up years and years later with you trying to fool your dad because you don't want to go to school. But your dad, he's Liam Neeson and he's unfoolable, so he sends your ass to school. And on your way to school, you see Butch the bitch bullying your girl. I don't really know Amata. I don't know what she's all about, but she gave me Grognak the Barbarian when I had absolutely nothing. And Fallout is a fucking hoarding simulator in my opinion, so that means a lot in this world. In the game, it gives you another choice here. You can either pussy out, or you can put Butch in his place. And you're obviously going to put Butch in his place because Officer Gomez called you a pussy before for not sticking up for yourself, right? So if you didn't do this, I can again see why you don't like Fallout 3, because you're not playing it right. You didn't shoot your dad in the back of the head. And you're still acting like a pussy, not putting Butch in his place. And you can tell I'm getting a little bit emotional here, guys, because I've seen hours and hours of content of people saying why Fallout 3 is ass. Then somebody will come out with like a 2-hour review being like, you know what? Fallout 3 is actually pretty good, man. Then like 10 people will come back with like 8-hour reviews being like, no, Fallout 3 isn't really that good, man. So that's why I'm making this video, because I think we can all agree that Fallout 3's beginning mission is actually pretty dope. And the choices you make in the prologue mission actually affect later on in the campaign, because you go back to Vault 101 and it's pretty cool to see what choices you make and the aftermath of those choices. After you're done beating Butch's ass, you go straight into your classroom, you sit down, and you gotta write the GOAT, which will determine your role, what kind of job you're gonna be doing in Vault 101. Just kidding, this test doesn't matter whatsoever. All you have to do is talk to your teacher after completing it. Be like, man, this test doesn't even matter, bro.
I didn't take the
He'll be like, man, that was super deep. That test is bullshit. Then you can make the choice of wherever you want your points allocated to, like guns, explosives, lock picking, medicine, barter, and all that shit. And after every level, you'll be given more points to put towards these and have a choice of what perk you want. So there you go. Fallout 3 has already taught you its leveling system. Am I learning and having fun at the same time? Could I not learn this information through an extremely boring as fuck training section or text just popping up all over my screen? Yeah, but this is way cooler. Then you leave your class and your life flashes before your eyes again, and then you wake up to Amada screaming in your face.
Come on, you've got
Amada's
to wake
like,
up.
the overseer, aka her dad, is going crazy, and my dad left the vault, which is Liam Neeson. And I'm like, that's not really a surprise. My dad's Liam Neeson. I knew he was probably one day gonna leave me. He's got more important shit to do. Amada's like, you gotta leave too. The overseer wants your ass. She hands you a Glock. She's like, it's okay. It's got a switch on the bitch. You're like, that's fucking trill. You watch an officer get eaten by rad roaches. Up that same hall where you've seen that guy get brutally eaten by rad roaches, you'll see Butch. He'll be looking for your help. And thank God Amada gave you that pistol, because you can just take him right out and then just be on your way. No, I'm just kidding. You're actually given a couple of choices here. His mom is under attack by rad roaches. You can either back him up and go kill them yourself. Tell him, hey man, you look pretty strong, you got this, and then he'll go in and do it himself. Or when you're leaving your room, you can actually grab a BB gun and then you can give this to him, and then that'll kind of inspire him to go take out the rad roaches. Or the best option, just tell him to piss off. You'll keep making your way up the vault and you'll see that things, have gone to shit. There's bodies everywhere, rad roaches attacking people, people getting gunned down by guards. But it's all good, because if you help Butch out, he gives you his sweet Tunnel Snakes jacket. So all you gotta do is get out of this vault and you're pretty much well prepared for the wasteland. If you're playing this game right though, you'll just gun him down and take it off his body, because there's no time to be messing around. Then you see this guy, and keep him in mind because he's an asshole, and he also becomes the overseer of Vault 101. You fight another guard, you fight rad roaches, and then you see Amada being interrogated by her dad and Officer Mac Daddy. There's a couple ways you can handle this situation. You can pickpocket the overseer and steal the password from him, and take his keys at the same time if you're feeling a little bit swifty. But I would just recommend taking the password, then going to his room and taking his keys, and then you can just leave. Or kill the overseer, take the password and his keys, but this will result in Amada being pretty pissed off at you, obviously. But I would recommend this option, because if you don't kill the overseer, then that one guy I was saying who was an asshole doesn't become the overseer, and then you won't get prompted for the next Vault 101 mission. Another thing a lot of people don't know, I think, in the beginning of this section, when Amada is actually waking you up, trying to give you the pistol, you can actually tell her to keep it, and she'll actually end up using it on Officer Mac Daddy. So if you were doing a pacifist playthrough, this is definitely a tip I would hold on to. Then you go to the overseer's office, you leave via tunnel underneath said office. You open one door, you open another door, then you open the vault door, and then Amada's like, wow, you're super fucking cool. Did you just open that vault door? Or she'll be like, wow, that's pretty cool. You just opened that vault door, but I hate you because you killed my dad. Depending on how you played that section. Then guards will come to attack you. You can either take these guys out, but what's really cool, if you're actually leaving this vault, you'll see that these guards don't actually want to leave Vault 101. They're kind of just chasing you out of the perimeter. Then they give you one last option to make sure, do you want to actually play this whole game as David Spade? You're like, yep, I've made some horrible choices, but I've come to terms with them and I'm fine with that. Let's do this. And then you see one of the coolest scenes in gaming. I'll never forget this the first time I seen it, when you just walk outside of Vault 101 and your guy's blinded by the sun, and then you just see Megaton off in the distance, and the whole game's pretty much just open for you to explore. Obviously, a lot of people just go straight to Megaton, but it pretty much leaves it open for you to do whatever you want. And I know people got a lot of problems with Fallout 3, even I do. But I think people missed a part of Fallout 3 that I always kind of liked about it. And it was always kind of a little bit campy to me. I don't know if anyone else kind of got that vibe, but I don't know. I just kind of found it, I don't know, kind of just goofy and funny. Like your dad's Liam Neeson, like he literally has an accent. Like it just doesn't even make sense from that standpoint. And I think people just took it a little bit too serious, and I think this one's meant to be taken a little bit less serious. But I do like how New Vegas went really gun-ho, and that is more akin to how an apocalypse or a wasteland would be, is just really depressing and kind of not have as many goofy elements. But it still did, but I don't know. I definitely think people took this game a lot more serious than I think the creators were meant for it to be taken. And it did retcon a lot of the overall lore of the Fallout universe, but to be honest, super mutants are pretty dope, and if I was writing a new Fallout game, it would be pretty hard for me not to throw super mutants into it as well, even if it didn't make sense, just because they're such a cool enemy. There's a couple of other retcons, like the Brotherhood of Steel being there. Is that more of kind of just a fan service to the old fans of Fallout 3? I don't know, but the Brotherhood of Steel are similar to super mutants, where yeah, they're kind of just dope. But I will say I do like how New Vegas handles the Brotherhood of Steel opposed to Fallout 3. Fallout 3 makes them seem like really good guys, as where New Vegas kind of goes for more of like a gray area. And you can see that Bethesda also liked how they handled it, because in Fallout 4, they kind of went with that more gray area Brotherhood of Steel. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed me taking a little look back at Fallout 3's Prologue. If you guys like videos like this, or if you wanted me to review another quest from Fallout 3 or any other Fallout game, just let me know. Or if there's a video game mission from another franchise you guys think is God Teir, definitely let me know, and I can maybe check it out, maybe look into making a video about that too. And I hope this video didn't piss off any New Vegas fans, because it wasn't meant to do that. I am also a New Vegas fan. That being said, hope you guys like and subscribe if you like stuff like this, and well, just have a good one. Take this.